Jai Hind everyone. My name is Aman Gupta. I am an assistant professor in MC department in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. Today we are going to study cyber security whose subject code is KCA A01. So these are the topics that we are going to discuss today. First of all, introduction to information system. What are the components of information system? What are the attributes of useful information, and what are the causes of the failure of information system, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of IS, what is distributed information system, and what are the challenges that the users will face when they uses distributed information system. So first of all, let's start with information system. What is information? So what is information? The collection of meaningful data is called the information. So when we define information system, it is a combination of hardware, software and telecommunication network that people build and use to collect, create and distribute useful data. So what is hardware? When we talk about hardware, hardware is anything that we can touch physically, that is monitor, mouse, keyboard, all these things are the hardware that we use in our system. And what is software? Software comprises of two components, that is system software and application software. What is system software? System software like operating system. Operating system is a kind of system software. And what are application software? That we use in our system to do various tasks like calculator, MS Word. So all these things are application software. So, and what is telecommunication networks? Telecommunication networks means when two systems, two users interact with each other through communicate through these networks. So the hardware and software, the system needed a network to connect each other. So people build and use to collect, create and distribute useful data. Now what is the objective of information system? The objective of information system is to provide the appropriate information to the user, to gather the data, to gather the raw data, process the raw data and then communicate the useful information or the relevant information to the user, to the end user client who required that information. So what are the key activities that involved in the information system? What are that key activities? Key activities are input. Input is raw data that is provided to the information system. Then some processing is performed on that raw data. And after that, we get an output, or the user or the end user will get the output, the meaningful information. And what is that feedback? The client, the end user, on the basis of the output, give some feedback to the system. On the basis of that feedback, the input can be improved. So on the basis when some client or end user gives some feedback of some output or the information that we get through an information system, then basis on that feedback, the whole process can be redefined, can be improved. So how can we define? We can define information system as a set of interrelated components that collect, manipulate and disseminate data and information and provide feedback to meet an objective. So we can also define information system as a set of interrelated components working together to collect, retrieve, process, store and distribute information for the purpose of facilitating planning. So why we use information system is to facilitate some organizations. Information system is nowadays used in all we can say all organizations. So how can it benefit to information system can be used in planning, control, coordination, analysis and decision making in very easy manner. So, and what is the perspective that we used in information system is, perspective is input, process and output. Some input is given to the information system, then there are some processing on that raw data like calculating, sorting, analyzing, this type of processing, and then we get some output. We can see through this figure, information system, there is an environment, in environment there is an organization, business organization, and to this information system what process has been followed? Input, processing, output. And after this output, some feedback has been given, and this feedback has been used to improve the input that we have already discussed. Now, we can see the definitions of terms input. Input is activity of gathering and capturing raw data, the collection of the data. Second one is processing. What is processing? Processing is converting or transforming data, or there may be some calculation performed on that data, on raw data, that is sorting, analyzing. This type of calculations when we performed on some raw data, this is called processing. Third one is output. What is output? Production of useful information, relevant information. And in what form this information has been discovered? In the form of documents and reports. We get the output in the form of documents and reports. Now, what is feedback? Feedback we can define as the output that is used to make changes to input or processing activities. Output, on the basis of output, some suggestions, improvements can be suggested to the input or processing activities. That is called feedback. So, through this is the information system model. This is input, raw data that is collected from various internal and external resources. Maybe some data has been required by the end user. So, some data has been processed, but maybe some data is stored for future purpose. Okay. So, in processing, some calculations have been performed on that data, sorting, calculating, analyzing, anything. So, after that, after processing, it has been converted into some output. Output means some structured and meaningful information, relevant information that is required by the user, end user or client. So, this information is required by that end user. Now, what are the components of information system? Components of information system has been divided into two parts, that is system resources and system activities. So, first of all, we discuss system resources. What are system resources? System resources has been further divided into 5 parts, that is human resources, hardware, software, database and network communications. First of all, what is human resource? Human resource consists of information system specialist and end user. That is the people who work upon the information system, the people involved in creating the information system, who are working on the information system, or the end user who wants some data some information from the database or the information system. So human resources are a group of people or person involved in the information system. What is computer hardware? Computer hardware consists of all the physical devices that we can touch. So these are like CPU, media devices, like monitor, keyboard, mouse. So all these things consist of computer hardware. Now next one is computer software. What type of software? We can have system software, we can have application software. So software consists of some programs, procedures, applications. So these all are the software that we have installed in our mobile, in our system. So all these consist of the computer software. Now next one is database. What is database? That we have already seen in our information system model, that raw data that we stored for future perspective is stored in some database. So that is database. We can store our raw data into database for future references. Okay. Now next one is network. Network means communication support like internet, intranet. Suppose there are multiple systems in a network, and they need some medium to communicate. They need some medium to communicate with each other. So that medium is called the communication support. And when we talk about in a particular organization, that then it works through intranet. And if we talk about whole world, or we can say outside an organization, it works by internet. So the communication medium is internet. It consists of, communication medium consists of both physical devices or the software devices. It can be physical device or it can be software device. Physical devices like routers, hubs, cables, all of these are physical devices that are used to communicate one system to another. And what are the software devices? Software devices as operating system, web servers, these are used for these are software devices that used for communicating support. Now next is system activities. System activities, that is performed by input. Some work has been done upon the raw data, input. Then input, output, storage. We have three components that we have worked upon, that is input. After processing we get an output, and and the data which is not recently, which is not used currently but stored for future perspective, that is gone in storage. Third one is process. This is also an activity performed by the system, that is classifying, analyzing or calculating on the raw data. Then we get the output, and this has been done through the flow of communication. We required the information system perform that activity, means to communicate one system to another, we required an medium. Okay. We can see through this figure system activities. These are the system activities that is performed under the information system. Activities: control of system performance, input of data resources, and then processing data into information, and then output of information products. And the data that is not been used currently is gone to the data resources, means database. The storage of data resources, databases. Okay. And the system Resources, people resources, that we've already done. HR, human resources in which people involved. Software resources, systems that is comprises of system software and application software, that are software applications. Hardware resources like keyboard, machine, CPU, all these things are hardware devices. Network resources is the medium through which one system communicate to another system, that is through internet. This is the major part of communication medium, that is internet. Then data resources means database like SQL, MySQL, Oracle, all of these are examples of the databases. We can see that there is an external environment, how it works, how can information system works. It connects people, organization, and it make use of technology. Now, what is data and what is information? What is the difference between data and information? So, what is data? Data is all the raw facts and figures that we gathered through in the organization. Data are the raw facts about the organization and its business transactions. Most data items have little meaning and used by themselves. So, data are the raw facts and figures that is used in an information system. And what is information? Information is the data, the relevant data that has been refined after some processing has been done on the raw data. Then we get an information that is refined and organized by processing and purposeful intelligence. So, information is the relevant information, meaningful and structured data that we got from the data. Some processing has been performed on that data and then we get the information. Information system transform data into useful information. So, what does information system do? Information system converts that data, that raw facts and figures, into some relevant information. So, an information system is an arrangement of people, data, processes, interfaces and geography that are integrated for the purpose of supporting and improving the day-to-day operations in a business, as well as fulfilling the problem solving and decision making information needs of business managers. So, what role does information system plays? It fulfills the purpose of supporting and improving the day-to-day operations in an organization. We can see through this example that data are the raw facts that represent the characteristics of an event. Suppose we have an event, high temperature and 100 Fahrenheit. So, we can see that we have that high temperature and 100 but we can't say that whose high temperature. Data is 100 so we can't understand anything from that data. But if we say that the temperature today at noon in Delhi was 100 Fahrenheit, so we can say that this is the information, that is a relevant information that we get through some data. Through this data we can't understand that which type of temperature, whose temperature, but through this output we can say that in Delhi afternoon there was a temperature at 100 Fahrenheit. Now, second example is sale. Suppose we have some event sale date, item number, item description, but we don't know. We have a table in which we have some date, item number and item description, but we can generate a report. For that we need some data for some date of some product, and when we conclude it in a sentence, then we get the meaningful information. Now, what are the attributes of useful information? There are certain attributes of useful information. These are quality, timelessness, completeness, and relevance. So, first of all, what is quality? So, the accuracy of the information, that how accurate the information that we get through the information system. It affects the quality of decisions that managers make using the information. So, the quality, the accuracy of the information is very much important for making any decisions in any organization. So, it is a very important factor which affects the quality of decisions, as if the quality of if the figures, facts and figures that we got, that the information that we got from some information system. So, all the decisions depend upon that quality, that the data we got from information system is correct. So, the decisions that the managers make using the information is also correct. Second one is timelessness. The availability of real-time information that reflects correct conditions, that allows the managers to maximize the effectiveness of their decisions. So, in what time the information that the managers in an organization got in an information system, availability of real-time information. So, it affects the decisions made by the leaders or the managers. Third one is completeness. Complete information allows managers to consider all relevant factors when making decisions. So, if the information is not complete, then it affects the decisions. If the information, half information, if we got only the managers got only the half information about something that he wants to know. Suppose he wants to know the sales figure of some reason, sales figures, but he got only for the half reason, 250 items sold, but in actual this figure is 350. So, definitely it affects the decisions made by the manager. Relevance. What is relevance? Relevance has the having information specific to a situation, assist managers in making better decisions. Means the situation in which the manager wants some data and the information that we got from the information system is relevant to that situation only. So, the relevance of data is equally important in useful information in information system. Major roles of information system: it supports competitive advantage, supports business decision making, develop TPS, transaction processing system, management information system, so and support of business processes and information, that is ERP. Distributed information system and business organizations, it affects upon internal organization. There are two factors, internal organization factors and external organization factors. So, in information system, there are some internal organization factors. Internal organization factors means finance, human resource. There are some policy and procedures that affects the information system, productions and operations, marketing. All these are part of the internal part of the information system in any business organizations. And what are the external organizational factors that affect the information system? That are suppliers, that are external factors, suppliers, competitors of that organization which uses the information system. Government rules and regulations, these are the companies policies and procedures, and there are sometimes there are some government rules and regulations that organizations have to follow. Now consumers, that also affects that is also the external factor that affects the information system of an organization. Information system supports business processes, operation support process, example production and purchase of material, that type of business processes that are consist in the information system. Decision support process for making effective decision making and logical functioning of a business. Strategic support process, for example, quick delivery of orders without unnecessary delay. So that comes under the strategic support process. Now, what are the causes of the failure of some information system? Maybe we have a incorrect requirement initialization. So if initially the requirement that gathered for an information system is not correct, then it affects the information system and it may be a cause of information system failure. Second one is insufficient system development practices. Maybe the practices that followed in an organization are not sufficient. Vulnerable to hackers and frauds. The information, the system is the system that we use in an organization doesn't have some antivirus, firewalls. So maybe they are vulnerable to hackers and frauds and they hack our system, and frauds can happen to the information system. There may be other causes also, such as network failure, improper electricity support. These are the external factors which may also is a cause for information system failure. Now, what are the advantages of information system? Information system can have real-time or archive data in minimal time. So the leaders, the managers, team leaders, managers or directors can have real-time data of their organization, or if they want to see the archive data of the organization, they can have that data, they can see that data in minimal time. Second advantage, it can increase revenue and decrease of cost. If we use information system in a proper manner, then it can increase the revenue of an organization and decrease the cost. Flexible and can be reprogrammed to grow with the need. Information system can be flexible. We can change some rules that we followed. It can be flexible and we can change according to the need of the system. Grow with the need. We can reprogram the information system according to the need of the we can say user or organization. Updating and modifying the database easily. We can also update and modifying the data very easily in an information system. Organization can handle and process huge data. In previous time, we can see we saw that we have multiple of files that we arranged in a rack. So it was very difficult to manage all the information in files and folders. So after information system comes into existence, it is very easy to handle and process huge data. The productivity will increase. Through information system, productivity of an organization has also been increased. What are the disadvantages of information system? There may be, if we have some advantages, then also we have some disadvantages of information system. Maybe trained manpower is not available. So it may we needed the trained manpower. If the manpower is not trained, maybe he can delete some data accidentally, or in illiteracy he can delete some important data. So it is very important then who work on the information system should be trained. So trained manpower is always required. If not function properly, then affects the running of the business. If there are some malfunctioning in the processing, if the processing of information is not correct, then it affects the business. Then it definitely affects the business of an organization. Information system is always vulnerable to hackers and frauds. If we do not have some policies or antivirus or firewalls in our system, then our system always prone to hackers. Hackers can hack our data, hack the organization data, and making frauds to the organization. Now, what is distributed information system? It can be defined as a number of independent computers linked by a network for sharing the information among them. So, multiple system that linked by a network, and these systems sharing the information and resources. Okay. So, what is the need of distributed information system? Need is sharing resource. Range of things that can usefully be shared in a network computer system. Many things that we can share. Suppose database is reside in that computer, processing unit, user interaction. So, the load can be distributed to the multiple systems. Range of things that can usefully be shared in a network computer system. Sharing hardware components like disk, printers, software entities like files, audios, videos, and video frames that a mobile call represents. Distribution of data which benefit as distributed physical resources that improves the locality, access, scalability in the execution. Now, what are the properties of distributed information system? Several autonomous computational entities which has its own local memory. Entities communicate with each other by passing messages or transferring the information. Computer networks such as internet, we can have multiple type of networks such as internet, telephone networks, wireless sensor networks, distributed database, industrial aircraft control systems. So, in the distributed information system, what are the advantages of DIS? Advantages are each user has control on his own equipment to a reasonable degree. Each user, each system that is linked to each other, okay, to a reasonable degree. So, everybody have a access to their own system. Each user can add his own programs at their own leisure. If a program has to be developed by multiple software engineers, then a software engineer can work on their own leisure and can add a program to that application or software application. Sometimes the initial capital cost is less, but if we say in a long time, in a time period, then the capital cost may be more. Now, what are the disadvantages of DIS? It has typically a lifespan of 3 years because the parts, as we say that the system are working independently, so many moving parts like fans, hard drives are susceptible to failure. Maybe they can fail or damage. Large vulnerability to security threats, as all the data has been communicated through the internet. When two people worked on some application and then the program has been combined, then it may be prone to more security threats. Hacker can attack the data when the data is transferred from one system to another. So that is large vulnerability to security threats. Usually has high cost of ownership when measured 3 years onwards. So the cost become high. Now, what are the challenges of distributed information system? First one is heterogeneity, that is applied to networks, computers, hardware, operating system and through different developers. Second one is openness. It is determined by the degree to which new resource sharing services can be added and made available for use by a variety of client programs. Okay, so it is very difficult to manage that data that is provided by a variety of client programs. Third one is security. It keep sensitive information secret when transmitted. So the third issue that is very much important is the security. When data is transferred, when the sensitive information or data is transferred from one system to another, then it is very much prone to attacks. When data is on internet or traveled. Okay. Fourth one is scalability. It should remain efficient even with a significant increase in the number of users and resources connected. Scalability means when the number of users who use the information system, and maybe 100 users used previously, and then at a time 1 lakh user, it increased to the number to 1 lakh. Then what happens? Maybe the system would crash. So it is very important to keep in mind the scalability. Failure handling. If fault occurs in hardware or software, programs may produce incorrect result or stop, or maybe some components fail while other working properly. So it is very important to handle these failures very efficiently, and it is very challenging to handle all these effects in distributed information system. Now, fifth is concurrency. Several clients may request to access shared resource at the same time. It is very important to maintain the concurrency. Means there is some resource, this is accessed by that user, that user, that user. Maybe result comes for 10th class or 12th class, then all user, all targets to the same website. At that time, it is very important that our information system, our distributed information system is able to handle all these requests at the same time. Transparency. It should be perceived as a single entity by the users or programmers rather than as a collection of autonomous systems which are cooperating. So it is very important that for all the modules or the users, transparency should be maintained. That's all for today. Thank you so much.